Holy shit. Last night was crazy. Last night was insane. I'm just going to try to get a different picture here real quick here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back next year, but there's the stream. You can see the stream going up. This is the stream that comes all the way from the mountain that drains into, and we're just happen to have a cabin that's right next to it. I know the light's bad. Here's their boat. Last night was amazing. I'm still shaking. I'm still fucking scared from last night. So, right up there. Right up there. You can't see it because of this tree line right here. But okay, so last night, I don't know if I'd mentioned it in the previous video, the plan was for Jacob to park down the road a little bit and I would walk in. He parked a little closer than I was thinking, but he was still out of sight. He was around the bend. Someone's doing some work over there. So he drops me off and I cross the road and start walking down the other side. I was thinking like 5 minutes. It was probably just a hair under 5 minutes of me walking. Before I get to, I was just going to walk right over to the trailer by the light. As I came around the corner and probably came into view before I got there, I don't know how to say it. I heard the Bigfoots communicating. I heard communication. I initially described it as a whistle last night, but it was more, I mean, a high pitched, extremely loud. So I'm coming around the corner, up on the left side, a little bit to the left, and that's where the majority of the activity took place last night. I hear, like I said, described as a high-pitched, loud. It wasn't made by, I mean, I'm not saying a human couldn't do their best to replicate it, but just based on how loud it was, because of how high, you could tell how high up it was, I heard a Bigfoot do a whistle or a chirp. So it wasn't the whoop, the stupid whoop that you hear about. It was like a communication of a high-pitched whistle chirp. The same thing, whatever it was, did a second high-pitched whistle chirp, and then less than 5 seconds later, maybe 5 seconds later or less, the same, you could tell it was a different one. It was the same type of sound, but it was just different. Like a communication back of the same type of I can't even talk. I was shaking last night. A high-pitched whistle type chirp that came back to it, like a communication. And immediately the activity started. So I just froze. I wasn't expecting to hear anything because, you know, so far, you know, last year it was visual. This year, because of the you can't see anything. It was a little bit lighter last night, but still dark as shit. I'm just trying to, I know this is boring. So I had to run to the grocery store down the street in the morning. I had to actually pass the Bigfoot site, and I was still a little freaked out. I had to do some quick camp essentials. So three total high-pitched, loud whistle chirps, and I was just fucking frozen for 2 to 3 minutes. It felt like an hour. So I was just sitting there, just frozen, shaking. It's like, holy shit, I actually heard it. I heard whatever they are communicating to each other. So I get the next part of the plan was, once I got down there and saw if anything was going on or anything, I was going to call Jacob. I could see the truck down the road around the corner. He had turned the lights down to a dim. I call him and he doesn't answer. I don't remember if it rang once or twice, and it went right to his voicemail. He later said that he just had it on vibrate from earlier because one of our friends was calling us a little excessively. One of his friends, you know, I know him too, but so just shaking, just scared as shit. So I wasn't going to start walking away or leaving. So I was there between 5 and 10 minutes, again, probably about 5 minutes. And I heard, I was hearing a little bit of movement. And man, we were there for an hour 45 last night. I mean, it got to the point where we just got tired of it. There was so much going on. So he comes down. He's like, he pulls in. He comes in slow. He's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I tried to explain to him, I described as a whistle. So during the time that we were there, there were multiple times that whatever was up on the ridge there, I was able to track. Like I would hear where they were moving, and there would be a little soft sand slide come down. You could hear it move over. I heard it move over to the right. I followed it, and then right where I followed it to, more sand came down. And then another the chirping thing was just, I'm still shaking from it. Like, we came home, and because last night I'm like, I ain't going up in those hills tonight. He said, I ain't going either. So we came home, and we're both like, just lock the doors. That's how fucking freaked out I was last night. Just trying to saw some cool shootings. One really cool shooting star last night. A shooting star, nothing else. But and then the other incident that I was talking about was the hills at a slant like this, going down. It's hard to explain. Coming down like this. So if they're all the way up on that ridge right there probably isn't even any way, regardless of how strong something is, something could throw something and get down to us. But something was thrown because it wasn't really necessarily a sand slide. It started in the middle, maybe even below the middle on the left side there, but it was like a crashing, just like almost like someone in the middle of it took a big rock right there. I don't know if it was a big rock that came down or what it was, but it started in the middle, not at the top, and it was a crashing sound, and it was like 5 buckets of fucking sand and gravel and rock all came down right at that time. I think something was thrown down to hit in the side. It wasn't really close to us, but it was still pretty close, relatively close to the ground in the bottom area. And the only videos I really was able to get last night was a 40-something second thing, and it kind of summed it up a little bit. You can see just like the back of Jacob's head momentarily, and I'm saying something softly, then I repeat it because he couldn't hear me. I'm like, they're just toying with us. They're just fucking messing with us. I heard footsteps. Oh yeah, I heard clear footsteps. I know what footsteps sound like. Even though it would be hard to get on camera when you're out there and there's no other sounds, I heard 4 like distinct footsteps of something walking and trying to be quiet. And that was like, other than throwing the boulder down and the chirps, it's like a soft movement up there where you can just tell that whatever it is trying to move and be quiet about it and not make a whole lot of noise. Even though we know they're up there and they know we're down there, because Jacob kept on being like, okay, be quiet, because I was like, dude, they know we're down here. They're fucking kicking sand down. They're maybe threw something down. They're chirping. But like last year, and I'm almost done here. Last year when it happened, I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't looking for anything at that moment, and in shock. This time I was, and to have those sounds come out, I was just dead frozen. I was shaking, did not know what to do. So that was it. This is the last day here at the cabin. We're gonna leave tomorrow. I think checkout's 11. We probably won't get out any earlier than that. So that's it. I don't know if I don't think you can get up on that ridge. I don't even know if I want to go up there now. I don't. I'm not going in those woods again just at night tonight either. I don't know if I want to even try to make it up there. Maybe just have a chill day. I'm gonna go back tonight. Someone's pulling up to the public dock over there. Yeah, I ain't going in those woods again at night, and I don't know if I'm trying to go up in that hill in the daytime, but we'll see. We'll see what our last day brings us. But yes, crazy night last night, an hour and 45 minutes of all this happening. I think it's from the weather. It was actually cool yesterday and cold at night last night, where it had been warm in the days and just like a normal temperature at night. So thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.